guys, it's Courtney. Today I am drawing a girl with some galaxy hair. And so first off, I am starting with the thumbnail sketch in my sketchbook. And to do so, I am using a red Prismacolor Col-Erase pencil. So for the thumbnail sketch, I was just working out just some rough ideas on how I wanted the pose to be in the drawing. And now I'm just moving on to my finished sketch, just on some regular old printer paper. So for the idea of this piece, I really wanted to do something galaxy themed. So I decided to do a girl with some galaxy hair because I knew that I wanted to focus mostly on the hair in the. To trace my drawing, I used my Huion LED light pad, and instead of using my microns to ink it, I used my brand new Copic Multiliners. So I used the black one, which was the 0.3 and the 0.03 to add some very fine lines in the hair. I really wanted the line work for this piece to be quite simple because I knew that I wanted the coloring to be the main focus. For the actual coloring, at first I thought I was going to do it in my usual Copic markers, but then I realized that I really wanted to practice my watercolor techniques. For the brand of watercolors that I'm using a few of my Van Gogh watercolors, and I also just use random, just kind of like dollar store watercolor paints because I don't usually use watercolors, and I just had a few from this old set that I have, but they still worked pretty good. To get a more blended effect with the watercolors, I started out by painting the area that I was going to be focusing on, and I usually worked in smaller areas at a time. I started painting that on with just some clear water so that when I put dollops of the colored paint on, they kind of melded together a bit more, just so that it would be easier to blend them all together. When I did that though, sometimes the water would pool up in one area, so I would use a tissue or a paper towel just to dab it off so that it wouldn't wrinkle the page too much. The paper I am using is my Canson illustration marker paper, which isn't really meant for watercolors, but like I mentioned before, I was originally going to be doing this with Copics, so I used my marker paper, and I don't really have any really good watercolor paper anyway, but other than the fact that it wrinkled a bit, I still think the paper held up pretty well. This piece was really fun to create because, unlike all my other pieces, for the galaxy, you don't really have to worry about specific placements for the color. It's mainly just adding little dollops of color here and there. I kind of just went with the flow for the color placement. Before moving on to the skin, I let the hair dry so that if I accidentally got a bit of water on the hair, it would be less likely to run into the face. Although the watercolor paints can be reactivated, it was just so that I didn't smear it as much. At first, I thought that I was going to be doing kind of a more realistic skin tone. But then afterwards, I realized that if I did that, it might take away from the galaxy and kind of pull your attention away from it. So instead, I decided to add just a little bit of light pink and light purple shading, just in the shaded areas, so that it kind of gives the illusion of skin. Since I was going to be splattering some white paint for the stars, I used my sketch to trace out a little template for the face and the skin areas of the girl and cut that out just to protect the face from any splatters. To give the illusion of stars, I used some white acrylic paint that I watered down a little bit just so that it was a bit easier to flick. And all I did was run the brush across my finger. So here is my finished Galaxy Girl drawing. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe for more weekly art videos. So I'll see you in my next video.